Hi everyone, it's Mr. Dubrow. I just wanted to quickly give you the outline of what I'm asking you to do in class today. And first of all, thank you for your cooperation, and I'm sorry that I can't be here to help you through working through the lab and afterwards, but we'll get it done. Okay, so the first thing on the schedule is to finish carefully taking data. And there were a number of things that could come up with taking data because this equipment is a little bit old. And so I'm just asking you to try to take data very carefully and be careful with the equipment. Okay? If there are any problems, such as there's a problem with one of the switches, it won't activate, one of the clocks won't work, then you should just stop collecting data, and you can take the rest of your data next week. Okay, so there's not going to be any penalties or anything like that. It's not due right away, so it's better for you to safely collect data and not cause any damage to the equipment. Okay? When you're done collecting data, you're going to make 2 good graphs. And this is covered in videos 4, 5, and 6. And the first graph that you're going to be making is one of time versus distance. So we actually changed the distance, so that will go on the x-axis. And then time, the average time in seconds, will go on the y-axis. Distance versus time. And I'm not going to replicate everything that I said in the video about good graphs because you've already seen that. This is just a reminder that this is our first graph, okay, of time versus distance, and we'll have points with uncertainties. And then we're also going to have in our second graph distance, time, and then the square root of distance, which will be measured in the square root of centimeters. So again, this is all covered in the videos, how to do this. You're basically going to take all of your distance values and take the square root on your calculator. So if I had, for example, a distance of 16 centimeters, that's going to turn into 4. So it's going to end up compressing the graph. It'll change the shape of it. And that's what we do when we linearize. And we will talk a lot more about this in the following weeks. Okay, so you can do this. I have graph paper that'll be at the front of the classroom. The sub will have it. You can also do this in your lab books. Okay, if you have a quad rule or a graph paper lab book, you can do that. Just make sure that it's full page. Once you have that, you're going to try to come up with an equation for the straight line, and hopefully that second graph is going to have a straight line. So instead of having y equals, my stylus is not working too well at the second. Okay, so instead of having y equals mx plus b, we're going to replace, and y gets replaced by time. M is going to be a slope that you must calculate from your graph. X is going to be the square root of the distance. Notice that I don't put the units, just the variable. That's true with both of these. And then the intercept is something you'll read off of the graph, and it's the y-intercept. So we're not having x and y, we're transforming it into a linear equation that looks like this. Okay? Following that, if you get that far, you're going to work on Mastering Physics, sets 1 and 2. You can also watch video 7C, which will be your homework for Tuesday. And if you even get that far, you can start looking at the lab report. Now, one thing about this lab report is that it's not going to be due until the end of next week, so there's lots of time. It is going to be a group lab report, so you're going to want to split up all of the responsibilities, but everyone will turn in a graph. Okay? So everyone must make their own graphs. okay? And with that, everyone also needs to make your own equation, which is based off of your graph. All the other parts of the lab you can do as a group, okay? But you absolutely must make your own graph. Like I said, you can use graph paper or your lab books. We're not going to do computer graphs for this first lab. We're going to do it on paper, okay? And everyone must do an equation. Okay, that's pretty much it. Hopefully this is clear and you understand what I'm asking you to do. I'm posting this video on Google Classroom, so you are welcome to rewatch it. And if you have nothing else to do before your practice or whatever, you're riding the bus, you can just watch this video for fun, or maybe not. Okay. In any case, thank you again for your cooperation, and I will see you back next week.